Hey, I'm Derek Forwerda. The last time I saw Kenny Fischer alive was the day that I picked up this Komet. And it's for sale. I hate that I have to sell it, but I have to sell it. And so I figured I'd tell you the story behind the amp. Komet was a newer company, and I had gotten rid of all my Trainwrecks. I had a bunch of Expresses, which this was modeled after. And I was kind of bummed out about not having an Express, even though I'd never used them. And Kenny told me that he had a bunch of Komets lying around that he was rebiasing and putting his own touch on them. He had about 4 or 5 amps around the shop. And they were slotted for either Mark Knopfler of Dire Straits or Richie Sambora of Bon Jovi. And so I came down to his shop, and there were about 5 or 6 of these lying around, and he asked me to play out of all of them. And I told him that I liked this one the best. I thought it was the most dynamic, most open, reminded me most of the Rocket, which I have. I have the one with the painting of the lighthouse. And this one reminded me of that one. And so he kind of laughed and told me to look at the back of the amp. And on the back of the amp was a little note taped with my name on it. And so the rest is history. So I bought it and I left. And sadly, that was the last time I saw Kenny. But what's unique about this amp is it has the real strong gain structure of an Express, but it doesn't really saturate like an Express did. I had 4 Expresses, and they start saturating right around 11 o'clock in volume, and by 2 o'clock in volume they have full saturation, and it almost sounds like sometimes the amp is compressing. It's a really cool feature if you like it, but I don't. I like amp to stay open and the bass to stay very punchy and responsive, and this one really does. And so the only thing I'll say with this particular amp is if you do get it, the bass response on it is much more than you think it is. Especially anyone who's going to play an amp like this, you're going to either have vintage guitars or you're going to have super resonant guitars, and there's so much bass response out of these already, you're going to find you'll rarely need to go past 10 or noon time unless you're playing at a low volume and you're back way off on the volume. You're going to get plenty of bass and you get a lot of dynamics. So I hope this finds a good home, and you're going to absolutely love the way it sounds. It is very much characteristic of a real Trainwreck, because Kenny basically turned it into one for me. All right, guys, good luck. Bye.